Today I'm on a hike, and the only rule for my photography is that everything will have to be in black and white, including the video footage. I think giving myself a little challenge like this is a great way to really focus in on how I'm lighting my images and how I'm taking my images, but also a great way to just give myself a new challenge in a place that I photographed many times. If you follow my channel, you'll know that this is Arabian Mountain. I love coming here, often take pretty much only color photos. I think sometimes when I take black and white photos here, they don't turn out the best. And why is that? Because, well, black and white exists in a lot of grays, and this place is extremely gray overall. So sometimes it's hard to get interesting textured images in black and white, and good challenge for me to do today. One of the big challenges with black and white is finding out where your white and black is going to be. The sky itself could be your white. That's obvious. Today it's rather blue and you can see a lot of clouds. Sometimes there's no clouds and it could just be wide open, but really I guess the white in a lot of these images, if the clouds are in there, is going to be the clouds. And what's the black going to be? The ground? I don't know. It depends on what the image is, if there's shadows, whatever it might be. As I'm looking through the viewfinder, what I'm really focusing on, what part of this image is going to be the bright part and how are these grays going to be affected? Every color in the real world is going to become a different shade of gray in a black and white image. If there's no contrast between the colors in real life, there's not going to be in black and white either. So how are you going to light your images? Are you going to raise the shutter speed? Are you going to slightly overexpose? I found myself slightly overexposing some images to really have a solid white at a certain part of the images, and therefore getting a little bit more information to have more grays between some of the details, some of the subjects and textures in the image. One thing I've heard is that black and white is sort of cheating. Any photo is going to look good if you put it in black and white and up the contrast by a lot. I think that is kind of a naive take on good black and white photography. I think a lot of great contrast, really dark blacks, really bright whites is going to make for a very poppy, very eye-catching image that is going to be a lot of times aesthetically pleasing just for that. But when we're trying to take serious photography, we're going a little bit further than that, further than just aesthetics, a little bit more story, more detail. What are we showing this? I like to document my photo walks, document the textures, the location that I'm at. So my images shouldn't just be all black and all white. At some point, there needs to be the gray, the textures, the details that I've mentioned. A lot of newer photographers, I can say this from my experience, when I was definitely a newer photographer, I screwed up this shot. How can I make this a little bit better, stand out? Or there's a picture of a person. If I just really make it black and white and very harsh, it's going to be great. To the untrained eye, and on first glance, it is going to look that way, but then you're going to notice over time that it's a little bit cheaper than what it could have been if you properly exposed it to begin with, or if you kept the color and used the color as part of the storytelling in that. But I definitely think black and white is an amazing, amazing medium of photography. Taking away the saturation from an image can do so much for the story, can focus in on the feeling of the image. image, can focus in on different aspects of the image that might be more important than what the color actually was at that point in time. I can think of a few examples of my own work where a photo of a person is made to be a lot more dramatic in black and white, but it also makes it more serene or adds to the story of what they're wearing, or maybe the color is distracting from their expression or what's going on. And if you just make it black and white, then you can tell a little bit more of a concise story and focus in on the emotion of it or whatever it might be. There's so many uses for black and white, and I really love using it. But in recent times, in recent months, I've been using it a lot less because I felt like maybe it is one of those easy answers to just like, this photo is not the best, or I want this photo to pop a little bit more or to be a little bit better to the interpretation of anybody. So I'm just going to make it black and white, and it's probably going to get another +2 points. When in reality, if I just took a better photo in color, then it would have had a +5 points as it is. Another aspect that I hear is that, well, a lot of beginner photographers just screw up their white balance and say, okay, it's black and white. And I mean, honestly, that's kind of true. When I first started, I didn't know what white balance was or like how to use it properly. And so if I did screw up an image, especially indoors with like LEDs, the color is all wonky. It's all super orange, all super blue, whatever it might be. Yeah, you just put it in black and white. That happens. And there's no shame in that. I'm admitting to it myself. Just using black and white as a crutch shouldn't take away from actually going ahead and learning white balance and things like that. And you should have a good white balance anyway, even if you are taking black and white image. So I guess what I'm trying to say with that is that black and white isn't cheating. It isn't cheap. It isn't for beginners, and it doesn't automatically make your photo good. My challenge out here today, really be methodical in my process with these images, how I'm taking the light in my camera in order to use black and white to the advantage of the image, not to just say it's a black and white image and it's going to be good just for that reason. this all made sense. I think when you go out on a photo walk, sometimes it's great to give yourself a challenge. I've done it with like vertical photography, only taking vertical images. And that was kind of strange for me. But I've done challenges where I stand in one place to take photos for 5 minutes. And what can I get? Just standing in one spot. But shooting all black and white, another great challenge. Sometimes you need something that's going to change what you get a little bit, especially if you've been to a place multiple times. Hopefully this video gives a little bit of a take on black and white photography. There's a lot of them out there. Not all of them are positive. Some of them are gatekeepy or belittling to people who use black and white, especially beginners. But if you do it correctly, it is an amazing medium of photography, one of my favorites. And so I would never discourage anybody from trying black and white and seeing what works with it and why. Test yourself, challenge yourself, do different things with photography. I hope you enjoyed me just kind of blabbing about it a little bit. And hopefully you enjoyed the videos and B-roll that have come along with it in this particular video that's very desaturated. I've been Tony King. I'm a photographer here on YouTube. I make photography content of all kinds. So videos just like this, but also way different, but all about photography. So stick around for more videos. I've been Tony King. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.